All right, so I'm going live just for a second. I got 2 minutes left. I don't know what happened on the last stream, and maybe some of you will join, but I wanted to give the final lesson thoughts here that Jesus, after his answer to his mom and dad, actually does go ahead and get up. He goes back home in verses 51 to 52. He returns home to Nazareth with his parents, and he continues to be a regular 12-year-old boy. He continues to be a regular sixth grader until it is time. Hello, Elder Kelly. I'm just came on here to finish up. Y'all know, I hope you can hear me. I don't want to be defeated. We'll talk about the no sound later on. But he goes home and he continues to increase in wisdom and in stature, in favor with God and in favor with man. And Mary, his mother, this is interesting. She doesn't understand, but she doesn't throw this moment away. She keeps all of this in her heart. And I see another wisdom nugget here, because there will be times that we don't understand everything, but sometimes you need to just keep it in your heart. Keep it to yourself. It will make sense later on. The Bible tells us that all things are going to work together for good. And so maybe it's something that you need to store up, and later on it will all make sense. And Jesus's life would ultimately make sense. So she puts the events of the day into a safe place, into her heart. Again, I see wisdom there. Our first passage, and I told you I would bring the comment in, is that to everything there is a season. That's what Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 and 7 tells us, that everything has a time, everything has a season. And wisdom helps us to understand that we can't say and we can't do everything that we may feel in a given moment. That's where Jesus was. At that moment, it was not time. To everything there is a time and a season. And so wisdom told him not now. He could see ahead into what was coming, but it was not time. And so I believe the application for us is just that. You may not be able to move the way you feel passionate about in some moment. You may not be able to say everything you want to say in a moment. I always say this about our words. You can always go back and address a conversation later, but sometimes when we speak or move too passionately in a moment, we mess up that moment, right? And then we can't go back and fix that, and we've already caused greater harm. So to everything, there is a season. Even the good things, they have a season. Our bad times, they have a season. 2020, as hard as it is, to everything, there is a season. And in the middle of the season, it's so hard sometimes to see the end of a thing, but every season has an expiration to it. Every time has an ending to it. And so to everything, there's a season. Let me give you my key learnings, and I'm late to church today. We are growing continuously and we are maturing. That's what our lives are all about. And so as we look at Jesus as a 12-year-old boy, we see him being fully God and fully man. He was growing and maturing. And so growing is not just about growing physically, but we should be growing in wisdom and growing in how we apply wisdom in our lives. Like if you're still behaving in your 20s the way you did in your 30s, like you're missing the entire point of the maturing process in life. I see so much in here with parents. There is a duty that you have to rear your children in the fear of the Lord and in the right environment. So we talked about surroundings being important, about the value of community, having a trusted group around you. And remember, parents, you cannot do it all. And so that's why it's going to be important that as much as you will work to teach your children, be mindful of the community that's around them, because they're going to ask questions and their ears will be open. So you want to make sure that it's the right people with the right values that align with your own, that have the voice with your children. Next, don't be comfortable with Jesus missing. We talked about that Mary and Joseph, when they realized Jesus wasn't there, they were not okay with this. They were concerned and they did everything they could to get connected back to Jesus. And if we feel those spaces, if we feel lost from him or feel like he's lost from us, we need to exhaust every resource that we can to get back to Jesus. There's a lot that we can learn, like we saw Jesus listening, hearing, and asking questions. Wisdom tells us don't always do this. Don't always be busy talking, but watch how much you will learn by just opening up your ears and learning to ask questions. The last thing I want to say, and I just want us to remember this, is that children have so much value, and children can have wisdom, and we need to learn to give credit and credence to their voices. No, they don't know everything they're learning, but they can have value, and we need to learn to give them space in the temple to learn, to grow, to develop, and to be a part of the movement of the kingdom. Finally, this is wisdom. Everything that you go through may not make sense to you in that moment, but don't throw away the experience. Continue to pray. Keep it in your heart. Ask God, what am I supposed to know from this? What do you want me to see? And it may not be in that time, but to everything there is a time. And just know that when we need that again, God will give it to us. We are all to be learning and growing in wisdom. That's what all these lessons have been about. And wisdom moves us in a certain direction. And there is a correlation to wisdom and having favor with God and man. As we grow in wisdom, we grow in favor with God and man. Thank you to everybody who clicked over to the second video. I have no idea why we lost sound in the first one, but if you know anything about me, it's that I will not be defeated as it relates to sharing this word of God. So thank you all so much. I'm headed to service at the Dominion Word Ministries Church. If you don't have anywhere to be, we invite you to join us. We're in service right now online on Facebook. I love you all. See you tomorrow on Markup Monday. Bye-bye.